Hello, everyone, and welcome to Feisty Girl Talk. Let's get it with your homegirl, Chrissy Dorey. In our first episode, we will be talking about courtship versus relationship. And my special guests are Shannon and Tiffany Wren and Lamar Tribble.
So, hi everybody.
Hello.
Yes, welcome to Feisty Girl Talk Podcast. Let's get it. I am your host, Chrissy Dorey, and I have two amazing guests with me, Shannon Wren, oh my God, and Tiffany Wren. Yes, they have the same name. Yes, that is her mother. That is her daughter. I appreciate everyone. This is episode 1 of Feisty Girl Talk Podcast, and our episode is going to be talking about courtship versus relationship. And I have two amazing guests that have the knowledge and expertise in this area. I'm going to give you a little mini bio of each host, a guest, sorry. Shannon Wren, native of Washington, D.C., and she's a domestic violence survivor. She's a writer, producer, director, beauty consultant. Her handle is at Shannon Wren and Sleep Cute. We're going to have all this information in the bio of the YouTube link with their handles and everything. And then we have Tiffany Wren, woohoo, a veteran, part of LGBTQ community. Awesome individual. She's been married for 4 years, but divorced, but she's gonna give us her backstory. Shannon's been married 24 years, right?
It was 24.
24 and divorced. So we're going to really get it started because we want to give our point of view. And PSA, we're not experts, we're not therapists, but we are expert in our own experience and journey as it pertains to courtship versus dating. And I think this is going to be a three-part phase because I think people fear to be misconstrued or not understanding the steps that it takes to have a vibrant relationship that's working for you and meeting your soulmate, I feel. So I think the courtship versus relationship is the first phase, don't you guys think?
I think, yeah, the getting to know the person absolutely is the first and very important part of courting or starting a relationship or dating. You have to have a foundation to work with to kind of even know how to navigate through the courtship, the relationship, and whatever else it leads to, whether it be marriage, whether it be, just a long time relationship or what have you.
And
You got,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
you just got to have, you got to start from somewhere. And it's best to have like a real solid foundation to start from.
I agree. And I think the difference, and we're going to break that down about the difference between the courtship and relationship, because I think people get construed with the fundamental of how to identify courtship versus relationship. Okay, here comes our guest. Okay, as his audio is coming, Tiffany, do you want to tackle that?
Definitely. There are definitely stages to a relationship or courting. I think a lot of times in today's society, a lot of people put up a facade of who they are. It's not really the core of who they are, or they'll introduce you or provide you with a representative of who they are until you like get into the relationship and you actually start, spending time, even more time with the person. Things start arising within the relationship, and you like, well, I know I asked you about these things prior to us, getting in the relationship. Like, what's going on? What are you doing? This isn't who you told me that you were. So I definitely think it's a vital part of the courting stage.
Right. Right. We have our third guest, Mr. Lamar Tribble. Of course,
Welcome.
that's awesome, Tiffany. I just got to bring him onto the panel.
Sure.
Time management, we got to work on that, Capricorn. Nevertheless,
I need an
Lamar
assistant. I
is,
need an assistant.
yes, Lamar is an A&R representative. He works for Raytronics. He's a creative director, choreographer, manager. He's under that whole umbrella. And Lamar, you've been married for 25 years, correct?
Yes.
Yes, so he has a lot of information, and all three of my guests have been married and divorced. I've been single, which is fine. I have my point of view and my perspective of the courting and the relationship. So I'm going to put my 2 cents in. But we were just going over your perspective on courtship and versus dating. How is it? How do you look at it? Go overview of that, Lamar.
I say courtship and dating. With the dating aspect, I tell people that you can date until you feel it is right, because dating lets you know until the courtship starts. Dating is trying to pick that person to understand if that person is compatible with you. The courtship starts before the marriage is going to happen. So if you can't get past the dating stage and thinking that everybody that you date you're going to marry, then you're going to definitely be in trouble for whatever you're looking for, because whatever it is not that. So dating is to find that person. The courtship is to actually see if that person fits your criteria to be married to you. So right. I think if they don't follow those steps, most people kind of like put those steps just like everywhere. And then they'll say, okay, I just want anything or anybody. And then they don't know what steps the relationship takes. So I tell people, if you're going to look at it I tell my daughters, I tell them this: if you're going to date who you want to date till you feel like it's right. Then you make them a title. Then it goes on further. Other than that, everyone you meet and date is not your boyfriend. It's not the person that's going to be your baby daddy. It's none of that stuff. Mm-hmm. So don't start dreaming so soon. And the next thing you know, your dreams are let down by you saying, okay, this didn't happen, that didn't happen. And I'll tell my daughter, like, well, did you think he was going to fit those categories that you wanted him to fit so soon? Or do you even know him? And then they'll go, well, I really didn't know him. Then I'll say, now you see what my process is. And then I'll say, you know what? I understand that now. So like for my 17-year-old now, she's not playing no games.
She's identifying. She knows.
Absolutely.
But
right
see, a lot of people don't have that, father in their life to tell them, to guide them, because some people don't know what comes first, dating or courtship. They're confused. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what I want us to identify and clarify, so our viewers and the audience will know, oh, okay, so that's what dating is. Oh, okay, that's what courtship is. Okay.
Yeah.
And it embodies the whole relationship. So courtship is like the traditional dating period before engagement and marriage, versus in this long term, where dating is like what you just said, Lamar, Shannon, and Tiff.
We're going to go to the movies. We're going to go out.
We're going to figure this rhythm out. We're going to feel this rhythm out. See who, right. Why is courting better than dating or having a relationship? Why is that better?
I won't necessarily
feel it's better. I'm just opposing.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say it's better. I think when you get to the courtship, should have done the work.
Absolutely.
To get to the courtship. So I'm not going to say it's just a progression of after the dating, and you all have figured out or realized that this can move to the next phase.
Yes.
So I wouldn't say it's better. I would just say it's just a progression of what you get from dating. But I wanted to go back because I think a lot of people miss, before you start dating, before you start courting, before you get into any relationship, I think the major part that people miss is you need to be solid with yourself first.
Absolutely.
You have to be solid with yourself first. You cannot go into any type of relationship, whether it's dating or what have you, with baggage from the previous relationship, trauma, insecurities, all kinds of issues, because if you do, you are pretty much doomed from the beginning until you fix you have to become solid within yourself first. You cannot commingle, come together with any other individual until you, and that's what I talk about the foundation. The foundation starts with you. And so, of course, I got married. I was very young. I did not, probably Lamar probably was young as well, since we both were married so long. I was married at 18. Of course, I had no clue what marriage was. I liked him, he liked me, we got along. I thought I loved him, but I did, but it grew. But I did not have any examples before me to help me. I had to figure that thing out myself. We kind of grew together because we both didn't know. We were young, we had kids. It was like, all right, now what do we do? Right. So you gotta be solid within yourself first before you start any type of dating or anything else, because you're just gonna be out here doing whatever.
Right.
Yeah, you definitely got to heal that childhood trauma, because that childhood trauma will be a grown person trying to be a child. Yes.
I believe that wholeheartedly. Like, your trauma, get yourself together first before you bring anybody in, because then you have your stuff, they stuff, and then your group stuff as a relationship.
Because
and
that person will be marrying your drama.
That's
that
overwhelming.
person will be marrying your drama.
Tiffany, how do you feel, Tiffany?
I definitely agree. You definitely have to love yourself in order to provide someone else with that type of love as well. Because at the end of the day, like, your traumas and stuff like that, to me, I feel that's one of the questions that I always ask people when I am getting to know them. What are your traumas? Like, what is something that you've been through? Like, I want to know who you are. I want to know what you're doing, how you're going to hit, how you're healing yourself. Like, have you just been jumping relationship to relationship? Like, I go through it all because at the end, because people, they don't love themselves. I found a lot of people can't even sit with themselves. A lot of people can't love on themselves, can't take themselves on dates. Like, people will always be like, oh, that's weird. You go to the movies by yourself, or you go take yourself out to eat. I'm like, why not? Like, I love myself. Like, what do you mean? I don't have to have, that other part of me. I'm home by myself. You know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of people miss that. And that's where you see people jumping from relationship because they're looking for something. Meanwhile, you don't even love yourself, but you're replacing it with materialistic or temporary things that really don't sustain you in the long run. Yep, so it's absolutely. Like,
I think
it's crazy.
I think we are our first loves. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know how you always say, well, I believe dads and your parents can be a form of your first love. But I think genuinely we are our first love. Like Tiffany said, Chrissy, you and I, we talk about all the time about it's okay to take yourself on a date. It's okay to date yourself. It's okay to love up on yourself, to take care of yourself or whatever. If you can't spend time with you, then why do you think somebody else want to? If you don't like being with yourself, then why do you think somebody else gonna want to be? You know what I mean? So that's my.
I think a lot of the people. I think a lot of them don't have the examples. I think that's where it comes down to. A lot of the examples that everybody see kind of throws them off. They try to mimic what they thought they've seen on TV or what they think they see in these movies. And I try to tell people, like, listen, what you saw on TV is not it. What you saw your mom and dad go through is not it. All you can do is look at that as a guide or as a beacon to pull from. You'll never be them, so you can manifest what you want it to be. And like in my marriage, I grew up in a 2-parent household. I grew up all the way until graduation. And by the time graduation happened, every child was looking at each other like, okay, y'all finally about to divorce each other? Sweet, we out of here now. Like, thank y'all for holding it together for us. Thank you guys. You know what it looks like. Kudos. And so for me, it was a point of knowing that that's where I came from. So when you get with someone and you know that's not where they're coming from, immediately you're going to immediately bump heads. Right. It's going to happen. It's going to happen off top because what they're used to is not what you're used to.
Right.
What you're used to is that home foundation where everyone is in the same bed talking and everyone's in the same bed eating crumbs together, laying on your mama's lap and your sister's over there, your brother's over there, and everybody's like 25 and 30 and it doesn't matter. Like if they don't experience any of that as a young age, when they get older, they will have a little bit of against you and your family because that's what they see and they didn't see on their end. So for me, mine is I was ready. I can honestly say I was ready when I got married because for me, the entertainment industry just raised me so fast, so quick, and I was done. Like I was completely done. I was ready for the, one woman situation. I was ready. I was head in, I was like, okay, I see what my mom and my daddy did. I understand this method. I understand what I got to do. So let me get into this and just jump in it. I jumped in it. But what I didn't do when I was jumping is I didn't pay attention to what the signs were on her end.
Her part, yes.
I fell in love with the fact of somebody actually loving me to the point that I forgot a lot of the things that kind of were red flags to me. That my mama always said, hey, boy, hey, boy. The same thing that kept me out of trouble during high school because I didn't have any extra kids. I'd never had no baby mama drama. There was no girls calling the house. There was none of that on my behalf. So I didn't know what all the rest of my friends were feeling with the baby mamas and all of these problems with women. And I was just like, I don't get it, y'all. Why? But for me, I couldn't do it. So I was ready. So when you're ready and you see somebody else is possibly ready, but by the time you get to them, their past is what you married. That's what I married the past.
The past, right.
To where our future didn't have a home. Because the past lived there so long. So me building a new home, trying to put down a new foundation, it always kept getting dug up by the past and the oldness and the what it used to be that I never knew anything about. So I always said, how can I fix you when I wasn't the one who broke you?
Exactly.
Right.
I can't.
You try to though. You try to, and
that's
I want to post.
It was.
And I want to post something to you. Right. I want to post something to you three, and this is. I know you two have to go way back and think about the moment when you were courting or being courted to move into the relationship versus in the dating. What was your steps? Need be you courting your wife, Lamar, and Shannon, your husband courting you. Think back on those steps. And Tiffany, you courting your wife. How did you guys go about that? What was the steps? And then what was the issue? Make it really short and sweet of the demise and made you go to the point of you wanting to let go of the relationship, let go of the love that you had for 24, 25, 4 years in the relationship as it pertains to marriage.
It seems like I always go first.
You be ready.
So going back and thinking, being as young as I was, it was like the high school sweetheart puppy love type of thing. You know what I mean? It grew, and I can't even say we were friends first because and I'm stuttering because it's like it wasn't really a process because I didn't know what I was doing. I knew that we had kids and we didn't want to be statistics. He didn't want to be a deadbeat dad. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let me back up. Church had a very, very had a very profound what's the word I'm looking for? It impacted our lives greatly. And you wanted to do things according to the gospel and the word.
And let me put a pin in that. But that's what courtship comes from, the biblical. That's how you're supposed to court biblically, like what you're talking about. So pause for 1 second. So keep going.
So supposed to. So we ours was basically because we wanted to do things right. We had kids, we had Tiffany, and we had Wendell out of wedlock. And that was looked down upon back when we were having kids. You know, it wasn't a lot of teen moms or what have you. So we wanted to make it right according to the word because that's what was being preached. Right. So we didn't really have we were boyfriend and girlfriend, and then we became husband and wife. You know what I mean? We didn't know anything about courting and dating or what have you. I liked him, he liked me. You know, we looked at it as love, and boom, there you have it. We had kids, and boom, I was married. I graduated from high school and then became a wife.
So what made you make it work for 24 years? If it wasn't the courtship, see, because that's a hidden gem right there. You know what I'm saying?
We grew together, and you know, in growing together, our love kind of it developed stronger, because I loved him, but you know, being that young, I didn't really know exactly what love was. You know what I'm saying? So through the years, it grew, and we became we were freaking frack. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so church also played a part in you staying together. The way it was taught and the way we received it is that you're married, you stay married. It's nothing that the Bible and prayer can't fix, basically. So we had these kids, you know, I was in love with him. He was, you know what I'm saying? So your desire to make it work is biblically based, loved based. You know, I just wanted to be with him because he was my first and only sexual partner. You know what I mean? An experience. So, you know, that was also big, you know, and you know, us growing up or whatever, it was looked down upon for you to have babies by different men and sleeping with a whole lot of different men. So that wasn't what I was interested in. I was gonna make it work with the one that had my children by, that I loved, and we were, you know, were married. But what kept it was love and in church, because you know, Chrissy, we was in church like
every day.
I was the walking Bible, basically.
Yeah.
You know, we were the walking Bible. We wanted to do everything right, and you know, and we wanted God to be pleased with our marriage and that type of thing. But again, there were no examples, so we're still just kind of fiddling through. You know what I mean?
Figuring it
out. You know, he was a little boy trying to be a man. He wasn't taught how to be a man. You know, the provider part of him just kind of kicked in. I know I got to take care and I got to get a job, and you know, so just your natural instincts being parents just kind of kicked in, and you know, and we just went through years, and then I'll get to the demise after somebody else talk.
Yes. So Tiffany, what was your courtship versus dating and relationship as it pertains to your marriage with your wife, and how did you guys go about that?
Well, kind of the dating. Well, she was actually my friend first. She was my friend for, I'll say, about a year or two, and then from there it went on to pretty much kind of like a high school sweetheart type of ordeal. A little bit of back and forth. We go our own separate way. You know, I went off to the military and everything like that. Life happened between the both of us. We ended up catching back up over time. And from there, it went to us dating. And like, I knew for a fact, like, okay, this might sound weird, but I knew for a fact that I wanted to be married, because prior to me being with her, like, I was everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With different people, like, and I knew for a fact, okay, I ain't even gonna cheat on this person. Like, I will be faithful. Like, all right, I'm good. I didn't have fun, all of this. Meanwhile, I think age as well, as far as maturity, played a part. Because I was 3 years younger than her. So a lot of growing up and a lot of the experiences that I had already came in contact with and with life, she hadn't experienced yet. So originally I did tell her or wanted her to, okay, we can be engaged, but let's wait a while. Let's wait a minute. But things did still progress into marriage. And a lot of the things that I told her that we would face or adversity or came up, and it didn't work. It wasn't strong enough.
Yeah.
It wasn't strong enough.
Yeah, because the importance of courtship in building a relationship is romance and deep commitment. Someone has to really be committed
Correct.
to what you're saying and vice versa. And I feel that everything needs to be, like you said, friendship. You were friends first. Shannon said her husband was friends first. Lamar, your wife, were friends first. That holds a big thing. A lot of people don't want to be friends. They want to skip
Correct.
to the loo, my darling, and have the relations and sexual and intimacy and handle the rest later. And
Mine
that,
came.
yeah, I want you to
Mine
talk
came.
about yours.
Mine came as a surprise because mine came from. I saw mine on TV first. It was before I met her. I saw her on TV, and I was like, telling the homies like, I'm gonna meet her, I'm gonna find her, and everybody was like, yeah, whatever, bro. You're crazy. A couple weeks later, I was doing rehearsals for I think the Grammys or something in a room. She was having auditions for her music video in the back, so I went to her audition as well as holding the audition for my job in the front. That was the very first time that we had met each other. So it was almost like, how the cliche love at first sight situation.
Yeah.
Then it was all of that. You know what I mean? So I was saying to myself, like, is this what it's going to be? And I was just like, wait a minute, is this it? So for me, I was looking at it like, okay, I saw the audition, I went in there, I met her, got her number the same day, and we were inseparable ever since that point. So for me,
So when did your courtship? When did the romance and the and all of that get you to
immediately.
the okay?
It
Okay,
started
some
right
people
off.
have immediate, some people
It
it got
started
work
because
a year.
it was literally my 21st birthday that very same day. So it was almost like, okay, wow, party, great. Well, okay, you can't even look at it right now because you have a major party going on later. So the party was me thinking about her the whole entire time of the party, and I was just like, what is going on?
It's
So
off
after
that
the
first
party,
meeting.
yep, after the first meeting.
Wow.
So at that time I was like, all right, cool, great. I'm not looking for anything. She was much older than me. She had already had a daughter. So for me, I already knew, like, off top, if this is what it is, I have to check in with the kid first. Like, it's not finna be, no, this ain't a kid, this ain't none of that. Immediately we hit it off. It was perfect. Disneyland every time, courtships, taking her everywhere she wanted to go. It was dinners everywhere. It was like candlelight dinners. All of that was so much fun.
So wait, one thing, you involved her daughter in the courtship, which is brilliant.
Everything.
Some
The
men don't
whole
think like that's
nine. The
awesome.
whole
That's
nine.
awesome.
I had her picking the places. I had her picking the flowers. I had her picking like everything. So she felt like she was really part of it. And I wasn't like shunning her off and all I want was her mom. Because I always knew that if you married somebody or you dated somebody with kids, and if the kids didn't like you, then the mothers, it doesn't even make sense if the mother like you or not. It's not even worth it. You're gonna always have a battle with that child. That child's gonna always look at you like something's crazy. So at the end of the day, I was always like, well, let me bring this baby into my world real quick. And actually it was like perfect. Everything went hit off like smooth. Like it was great. My issues came in with the church, the mama, and doing everything for the church and the mama.
Come on, church. Come on, church.
The church was the demise of a lot of it. The church did not help.
Come on, church.
The church was not a vessel for anything. I was the person that can go into the church and tell you what was wrong with the church. It wasn't to the point that I was waiting for the word. God wouldn't let me hear it from nothing in any of the buildings, because every time I went into certain buildings, it was like, God was like, oh, yo, this ain't where you're supposed to be, bro. Grab your family and run. Grab them and run, because I'm going to tell you right now, he would just show it to me.
Wow.
I would tell her. And I would tell her, and I would tell her, and I would tell her. And she would be like, no, you're just running from God. And then I would tell her mom, and I was like, listen, while y'all are running into the church, I guarantee you I can prove it to you. This and this and this and this. And they would be like, okay, whatever. When it happened, they would look at me like, well, wait a minute. Why don't you go to church? And I'm like, had nothing to do with the church. It's the people. Like, if y'all gonna go for the people, I can't be there.
Right.
Those are two different churches for me. So when I started seeing everything and how the church was impacted so much into her life and her family's life, it was a part of a struggle with me and her because she was doing it to please her mom. There was no pleasing nobody on my side. You know what I mean? I didn't have to please nobody. It wasn't I felt ashamed of this because I had no kids out of wedlock. I had nothing. So God was like, yeah, girl, you good. You got a clean slate. You don't got no extra baby mama problems. You don't have anything. So have fun. Me, I kept feeling like it was so much of a battle in between that the courtship kind of like just stopped. I just felt like at this point in time, it's like, if all I'm going to hear is your mom saying, you know, the church, and this is what you're supposed to be doing for the church, and the church, and the church, and the church. Majority of that was a battle for her trying to be who she was to herself and not for what she needed to be for everyone else. And she never could be who she wanted to be for me because she was so busy trying to please a lot of the people that had nothing to do with inside of the house.
Right. So you need to take care of that first before you even include or allow someone to court you. You have to be, and this is what a lot of people, and I have to say it for myself too, you got to identify your wrongs first before you can involve anybody else. And correct your wrongs, so those red flags, and you're not going to mesh with everybody. You're not going to be connecting with everybody.
And you have to be able
know,
to adapt too.
Right.
You have to be able to adapt and compromise.
And just
if you're
like
not
you
taught
said,
those skills will haunt you later on in life.
Right.
Because a lot of the things you want in life are not going to be the way you want them to go. And a lot of the things that you're supposed to get, you're not going to get it right away. So if you're not a person that can adapt with the changes in the times as everybody grows, then you're going to be one of those people that have tunnel vision only on what you want. So if your tunnel vision is stuck on only you, guess what? No one else is ever going to matter.
Right.
Never. So half the time during my marriage, I felt like I was Mr. Cellophane.
Yeah.
No, I was Mr. Cellophane.
Yeah.
I was Mr. Cellophane. I did not exist. I was just someone there that was either paying, giving, taking, or the ear for. But other than that, me personally, nah. I don't know what any of the stuff feels like. No birthdays, no parties, no surprises, no big Christmases, nothing. I don't know what none of that feels like at all. Right. I've never had it.
And that goes to another question. What are the stages of courtship? I know I heard it's like 4 stages of courting. What do you think? Give me 4, quick, to the point. Lamar, give me 4 stages of courtship that you think the 4 stages are.
First of all, you're supposed to have friendship, an understanding, love, first of all, for each other if you're going to end up trying to make it further. And you have to at least try to figure out where the other person come from, because if you can't figure that out, you'll never put them in your world. They will always be on the outside of your world. And you'll always constantly look at them as if something's wrong with them or something's wrong with you or what's the issues. But then if you can't get to the back door, then you're not going to be able to at least let them in your front. And I think a lot of the people can't fix it. A lot of the people can't fix it.
I agree.
And that's why we end up with so many broken relationships.
Absolutely.
So later down the line after we didn't waste 24 years.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm doing this platform and this podcast, so we can give our different point of views and perspectives of courting, because people are missing those steps. And that's why I wanted to know, what's your 4 stages, Tiffany? What's your 4 stages? Shannon, what's your 4 stages? And I'm going to give mine.
So who's next? Me?
You, Tiffany, yes.
Okay. So for me, definitely friendship, talking, communication are definitely the bottom line for me. From there, we can go to, okay, what your interests are, what my interests are. Okay, what are your spiritual beliefs? Like, I go through the whole 9, because I want someone to be compatible with everything that I talk about, or I can learn from them. I'm very big on that. I don't mind learning from the person that I'm dating or, dealing with. I have no problem with that. And my last one would be experience.
Okay.
Experience.
Yes.
That's good. Shannon, you're 4. Good. You guys are awesome. I love you. You're the best guest ever. Shannon.
I'm gonna start with unconditional love, because a lot of people go in relationships or courtships with conditions. Unconditional love, I'm going to say honesty. A lot of people are not honest in relationships. They're not truthful. Building a friendship, and compromise. I think and compromise. A lot of times, people are not willing to love unconditionally, to tell the truth. People are not honest in relationships. I don't want to hurt his or her feelings because I'm really digging him and he may leave or she may leave or what have you. And so you build this platform of dishonesty. And then later on down the line, well, that really get on my nerves. I ain't saying because I ain't want to hurt your feelings, but okay,
no,
well,
be honest and true on the up. Yeah.
Yes.
You gotta be. We lie to one
Transparent.
another. We lie. And so not being honest later can cause a lot of different issues that will arise because what you allow in the courtship, you cannot try to change
in the marriage,
after the courtship into the marriage. You allowed it.
Or you didn't know it was there. It was showing its face in small parts, and then it chopped up.
The red flags was
that's ignoring the red flags.
But I think I'm gonna say this, and then Lamar, you go. I believe that when I look back at my marriage, and I look back at a lot of the red flags, some of the flags I chose to ignore.
Exactly. And that's people,
And I don't believe that this is me. I don't believe that there are I don't think nothing goes without us really knowing. It's whether we decide to deal with it or sweep it under the rug or we feel we can fix it or change it.
Yeah.
But I just don't believe that you don't know that you're just oblivious.
You're not aware. Right.
Like, where did that come from?
Hold on 2 seconds. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So I just believe that, we are aware. It's just what we choose to deal with what we see. Like, if they come in and they start lying, and let's just say before you met them, you was like, lying is a deal breaker for me, but you like this person, or you became intimate with this person before you became intimate with this person before you got to know them. And you decided not to be truthful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you see it, but you like, I could deal with. So it was some things that I knew in hindsight, I chose to ignore because I felt like being in church, prayer, he could change, he would change, and things would get better.
Yeah.
So that's my take.
So for me, I think my stage is at the initial meeting, the attraction. I have to be attracted to you. Okay. We're all visual beings. And the initial meeting has to let me know either, okay, I want to get to know this person or I don't. Curiosity, interest, and infatuations. We just that's coming from old school being a kid when you infatuated. Ooh, I'm gonna hit you. And enlightenment and becoming a couple. Can I see myself with this person? Okay, first of all, do I like this person? Do I want to be in a relationship with this person? I'm gonna watch you and see how you move, because just like all three of you said, they send a representative, and when they send a representative, the representative is shining like the type of Christ will build. Oh my goodness, amazing! You loving what he or she is saying, and you're going for the okie doke. And then when the commitment comes, a lot of people are afraid of the commitment. A lot of people are scared that they're missing out, that the grass is green on the other side. What's she doing that some other woman or some other man can do that they're not doing? And it's everybody's mind playing tricks on them, trying to make them believe that another person will work better. And it may be true, but figure it out prior to the first meeting.
Here's the thing.
Let me know in attraction, like, you know what?
The grass ain't
are
always
not my
greener.
views. Right.
The grass ain't always green on the other
It's
side
not.
if
It's
you're not
shrubs.
watering.
It's
If you're not doing
shrubs.
the watering, if you're not doing the
Absolutely.
watering, that grass is gonna burn just like the rest of the grass
Absolutely.
that you just
I
left in the other front yard. Now here's the thing.
absolutely.
You can actually do love unconditionally and it makes you blind to the fact of what somebody actually is. Now you can actually love them past their flaws that you don't even see them anymore, but then they will come up when you do start to think to yourself like, wait a minute, 2 and 2 ain't adding up way later. So now let me start to dig on what's going on. So for me, I was so trusting to the point that like, you thought you know everything, but you never think that you'll get lied to the point where you would ask yourself like, why? Or what didn't I see? What I didn't see was the word friend. I didn't see the word friend. Now, friend is a whole lot of things, but we all know what he said. You say just a friend, but is he really? Was he?
Right.
Are you sure? So
Right.
my thing was, you cannot have a female that doesn't have female friends because she doesn't know what it is to have a girlfriend. So that aspect, you will lose your wife in every aspect of that. Every single aspect.
So you saying if she doesn't have
say it again?
female,
What do you mean?
you're saying again, if she doesn't
Listen,
have female
if
friends,
she
that means
doesn't
she
have
doesn't.
female friends,
She don't know
and
how to be a
all she
friend.
have are male friends, she's not a person that can get along with females, first of all.
Right.
Second of all, she's not a person that can have a girlfriend that can kind of uplift, chop, push up each other. Now, for a female that only has male friends, it's to the point that you seek attention on a lot of different levels. So that means when one is not giving it, you need another one, you need another one, you need another one, you need another one, and you need another one. Now, this pattern will actually become their livelihood after a while. Then you will hear the fact of you wasn't there, so whatever happened, happened. So you're like, well, wait a minute, where did the trust come in? Unconditional love and anything else that is in the marriage.
Trust is
Some
part
people
of
believe
that.
in it. Some people believe in it, but some people don't believe in it. Or some people believe in it until it benefits them and it no longer benefits them. See, I believed in it all the way through, all the way out. Because see, for me, I accepted everything in my marriage. Everything I accepted all the way until the point that when the divorce happened, I didn't even rebuttal it. Like I didn't even sign the paperwork. I did nothing whatsoever. And I told her, if this is what you want, you do it because, hey, I'm good. I still love you. Ain't nothing gonna change. So if you want this, you're gonna have to do it. So here's my thing. Being with you for so long, the last 10 years, if that's all you're talking about and manifesting, that's all that you want. Now, here's what you don't understand. Your grass here has always been green because I'm the nigga that waters it. I'm the one that's going to mow it. I'm the one that's going to replant it. I'm going to reseed it, and I'm going to trim the trees.
Yes.
So I'm not going to ask you for too much.
Right.
And I'm very easy to please on one hand. So at the end of the day, I didn't understand what wasn't getting met halfway. So what I did figure out is the person was broken on the inside and needed a lot to be fixed and thought that I was going to do a lot of the fixing. But I said, listen, this is how I'm rare. I'm going to probably be the only Black man that's going to ask you, let's go to counseling. Let's go. And I told her, I said, I'm only going to tell you because I know for a fact that it works. I went with my family. And I'm going to tell you how it worked. My father was in the military, crazy abusive at first. So we used to look at him like, okay, he's coming home drunk every day. This has to stop. This is not going to work. So if you're a military brat, that means you've been raised everywhere.
Everywhere.
So your thinking process is not on no small nothing. So we were thinking like, well, maybe we can go get the, the big, captains to come talk to him. We like going there. Then my sister says, you know what? I got it. Let's figure it out. So he came home one drunk after tearing up everything on the block, crashing everything, coming home, tearing up, trying to fight moms and the whole nine, right? So us 5 kids did one thing. You remember how they said if you hold a person down with a blanket and wrap them up and you hit them with a bat, no bruises? We did that to my dad. So after that, the next day, we went to counseling.
Wow.
Nothing ever happened after that. He stopped drinking. Everything was love. Everyone had an opinion. I said, damn, yo, I'm going to be the first one to go when I get older.
Yeah.
So me, I'm thinking flashback, boom, it fixed your family. You go now because it's your family. Do whatever you can to fix your family. Do not be the statistics and leave your family because y'all can't get along.
Right.
Go figure it out. Man, do you understand? Every day that was my beg and plead, please, let's go. Because you need it first. Then we can go together. Then we can go as a family. So if we can't go in line and in order how I know it will go, I don't understand what you're trying to do. So her thing is, I just want a divorce. I said, okay, so you're going to just jump it now. There's no separation. There's no separation. There's no nothing. There's nothing.
Trying to work.
Fine. I said, let's go then. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. I said, I'm okay with whatever you want to do. Find it. Papers came in the mail and papers left in the mail. I didn't sign anything. It just happened. So I told her, I said, see how easily you walked out? I said, you see how hard it was for us to make this happen? I said, but now looking back, you're stuck. You're mad because you're lonely now.
How long have you been divorced?
About maybe a year and a half.
It's new.
It's fresh.
But here's the thing though. I was totally detached 3 years ago, way before the divorce.
Because you got those signs. You got those signs.
Because it's to the point that, like I said, I can endure a lot before I just say, you know what, I'm done. Now, I didn't endure multiple situations. Like, it needs to be a part 3 to this show.
I know it's 3 parts. I told you.
We definitely got to do 3 parts because there is it's crazy how
it's layers. It's layers.
It's crazy how it went.
And we're going to get to that. So don't give it up because it's another part. So don't give all the goods just yet. You got a lot, and this is going to be a layered conversation.
Because people really can't believe that I actually did the right thing. They're like, I can't believe
it's rare.
Like,
it's rare.
Come on, and I'm for real. And what's crazy is all my real good friends, all my boys, they know it. They know it. They know it. Every time they saw it, they be like, come on, man, take your little good dude home. He ain't doing shit no more. He ain't doing nothing no more. Take him home. No, he's a good guy. I'll take him home.
One of the biggest things, too, I think we have to understand, which I had to learn, is that you can't fight for something that somebody else doesn't want.
Nope.
Right. You're right.
You can't change people. People have to want to fight for the relationship, want to be in the relationship. And when we have to learn how to accept when people don't want it. You know what I'm saying? We hold on.
That was me. That was me because
it hurts, it stings, but you gotta accept it.
Oh yeah. Now and here's the thing. I accepted it, but it was to the point that okay, now I know me accepting it means I shut off. When I shut off, there is nothing no more. There is no can I and could you and please, and there's nothing. I'm completely numb. So I'm looking like if this is what you want me to shut off, then I'm gonna shut off. And it's to the point now I'm so shut off that I think I'm so not any good for the next one because a lot of what I believed in.
Cancel, delete. You don't say that because I know you have more. You have love in you, and you want to court. You're going to court someone else. Yes, you are.
It's different. Trust me. I didn't date for a long time. Chrissy will tell you.
Yeah.
I didn't. Let me tell you something. There is somebody out there that will appreciate and love you. That will give you just what you need. And I'm telling you.
And here's where I'm at.
How long have you been divorced, Shannon? How long you been divorced for? How long? 5 years?
I think 6. 6, maybe 7. Wait, because 2012, right? That's when I was going through. So 2014. No, about 7 years now. Okay. Almost 7.
Yeah. Tiffany, how long have you been divorced?
3 years.
3 years. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you got 1, 3, 7. Yeah. So how do you guys feel? And we talk about this a lot. A lot of times people don't understand each other's love language in the courtship.
Yeah,
in relationship.
Yeah. You can speak the language too good.
Right. So how do you guys feel about the love language of quality time, gifts, physical touch, words of affirmation, acts of service? How does that goes into the courtship, dating, relationship component?
I think it's an individual thing, and it's something that you have to learn. You have to know what this person's love language is. Is it touching? Is it kissing? Is it affection? Is it gifts? Is it, you know, words, support? You know, you have to, that's the part you have to learn. That's the
And
part you
that's
have
when
to.
I think it should be in your introductory into getting to know one another in the courting, to make sure you're aligned. You understand what I'm saying? Because if
Because if
you can't,
not, Lord,
if
Well,
you
it's
can't
not
give me,
really, but
if you can't give
it's
me, like, if you can't give me, because I think even with Lamar, like he was given acts of service. He was given all 5 love languages, because that's me too. I'm going to give you quality time. I'm going to give you gifts. I'm going to give you physical touch. I'm going to give you acts of service. I'm going to give you words of affirmation. That's just how Capricorn, that's how we are as a
and
sign.
on and on and on.
On and on and on. And if it's not being reciprocated, you looking back
Boy,
like, okay, wait a minute.
boy,
What's going
boy.
on? Am I not being
Reciprocation
noticed?
ain't even a word. I don't even think
Right.
So
nobody
that's,
Am I
understood that
not
I
word
being
think,
either.
noticed in the relationship or in the courting or in the dating process of it? And it's, what's your view on that?
I think we give things, I think we do things too early.
Oh, that's okay.
I think that
That was
I like
I think
me.
that.
we I think we jump in too early and too soon before we realize
I
who we're
like that.
dealing with.
Absolutely.
And if you cannot continue that through the relationship, trust me, you're going to pay for it later. Because
Absolutely.
for me, it was like, okay, let me show her the whole entire world, not just like this street, not like
And
that
that's what
lamp.
they
Like
fall in love
let me
with.
go blow it up out of control. And that was me. I blew it out of control. That
And
like 5 to 10 years into it, I was like, nigga, I'm tired. Damn. Like, can a
right.
nigga get the same circus that I gave you? Can I get 2 cakes, please, and a
Don't,
birthday
did they,
gift?
look, you know the saying, Lamar, is don't start nothing you can't
Can't
finish. Don't
finish.
start nothing you're not gonna
Man,
keep doing
Lord
it.
have mercy. And then
But
by the end of
I
it,
think
I was just done and tapped out because it felt like it was a job more than it was love. I felt like I was
absolutely.
giving. I felt like I was giving to be considered. I thought I was giving to be liked. I think I was giving to be loved. And I was thinking I was giving to be appreciated. But I think at the end of the day, it made me understand that no matter how much I gave, you was never going to get what you were looking for. So keep giving, because when this is done, you're going to understand what you don't want and what you will take and what you will tolerate from this point on now. So now no one, I mean, absolutely no one can talk to me about nothing that they want if I don't come first, period. I'm sorry. And then you can call it stingy, whatever you want to call it. I've never gotten nothing myself. And when I buy myself something, just the other day, I literally went and spent $300 on myself. And I was shocked. I was like, yo, I actually did it. I actually spent the money and didn't care.
He sound like me. You buy yourself a purse and it's like, oh my gosh, I want $300, $400.
Yeah. I'm
It's a
just like
treat.
thinking, who's gonna yell at me and I'm gonna get in trouble? Like, oh my God.
So your wife got on you when you spent too much money on certain things?
Listen, it was this point. I never spent nothing on myself. So I
Yeah.
never bought
You always
myself
thought
or
about the
got
other
anything.
person.
It was always her or the kids. It was
Yeah.
always, can
Yeah.
I have, can I have, can I? And when
Yeah.
I asked for anything, this is what I got. You don't need that. Oh, you ain't gonna use that anyway. Oh, that's a waste of money. What you need that for? You don't really need that.
She
But
loved it,
turn right
spend it on
around.
her.
But then turn right around. That love language was, hey, can I have? And then I'm like, okay, the love language is coming. Okay, good. Now go show out. What does she want? Go get her 2 of them. Man, I get 2. What do I get? Before 11:30 at night, I get bawled the hell out, yelled at, and I'm back in the car on the streets at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, like in the morning. Like, it just makes no sense. Like, no way.
Wow.
Never again.
Wow.
I'm never doing it. Never. And
I
that's what I told myself. And I told my kids, y'all don't got to worry about daddy. Daddy is not jumping that broom again. Daddy does not even want to say an I do, I don't.
We're gonna revisit
borrow,
this we'll revisit it in a year. You be with somebody. Okay.
Listen.
Danny, you had something to say.
I was just gonna piggyback off of when I say we jump in and we do things too soon. And you know, Chrissy, my motto is, you know, I think, and this is me, Lamar, you all may disagree, but I think having sex distorts your vision, your true vision of a person. Because if you all become intimate sexually and it's pleasing to you, it's pleasing, that becomes the focus. And you tend to let your guard down and accept a lot of things that you emphatically would not have accepted had you not slept with that individual. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, what you are attracted to. You will kind of let your guard down with the attraction thing because you've crossed over into the sexual. I just think it falls and it clogs your ability to fully think and to fully see and to fully realize.
And that too is a woman's weapon. Also, that shit will throw you all off your game, because for me,
absolutely.
For me, it was all of that and above. So I was always like, whoa, for real? Because she was way older than me. I mean, it wasn't, I was like, yo, for real? For real? So it was like, okay, good. But later on, it's like this. You give a kid candy every single day.
Yeah.
Every single day. Every single day. It doesn't matter what time of the day. You can have your dinner with the candy, everything. Like, it's just candy. And then all of a sudden, candy shop closed. Lots changed. Nigga ain't selling candy no more. Candy man got out the business. Now, what are you supposed to do then? What are you supposed to do then? Because then it flips on you. Then it becomes that's all you want. That becomes then that's all I'm good for. Then that's all you think of me. Then it's like, well, wait a minute. For the first half of the relationship, that's all you was doing.
Right. But yeah, I think I agree when you said it can be a weapon, because but some people that you connect with are incapable of giving you what you want or need.
Absolutely.
If it's not, a person cannot give you what they don't have.
Or if don't know how to give.
Because I've never had to do that. And all I have always been is a receiver. I've never been, not me, I'm just saying a person. When sometimes our expectations on, for an individual is not something that they can fulfill. It's
not something that they can fulfill for themselves either.
Absolutely, because it's our expectation.
Absolutely.
We set the limits. We set the expectation. Why? Because we do it. Our expectation and our bar is set on what we do, what we put in the relationship. Lamar, you said
make me feel good.
I'm giving, and I'm looking like, well, this nigga ain't giving me nothing. What is going on? Well, the expectation is if I give to you, then you will reciprocate that and give back to me. But when there are individuals that, again, like you said, and they grow up in different households, they grow up a different way. And that's why the courtship, the friendship, all of that is important, because I'm telling you, when you sit with somebody and you become friends and you talk about everything and you're honest and you ask the right questions without being diluted with sex and everything else, I'm telling you, you will get to know the core of the person, and you'll be able to make a more sound decision on whether this relationship is going to go forward, go left, we just going to be friends, or what have you. And it's easier to walk away. It's so much easier.
Because you're not that invested.
Because you
have not invested. Absolutely.
You have not entangled. And 9 times out of 10, guess what? You will probably remain friends because you did not.
Foundation.
And you didn't entangle. You didn't mix sex, and you didn't mix your soul. The soul.
And it's like, for me on my end, mine wants to keep me, but still do what she feels she wants to do as far as like her life. But she wants me still to be there to pick up a phone call at no matter what time it is, no matter how many times she calls, no matter what it is.
That's controlling.
When that doesn't happen, it's a point
narcissistic.
What happened and why and what happened and what did you and I'm like, well, why are you even asking me and clocking the time that I didn't pick up the phone when you called me the 2 times? It's like, what makes you think that now I'm still obligated to pick up the phone? I don't understand it. But here's the thing. She was like, well, I did this for me to find me and who I was. And I said, so this is what makes no sense to me. Me trying to help you get to a place where you know who you are and find yourself so you can be an independent vessel to help this household to be a moving force forward instead of being either a liability or any of that, more of an asset. So here's the thing. She tells me, well, I had to do this because I had to find out who I was, and I had to make sure that I didn't have to rely on you for everything, and know that I can do some things on my own. And I said, so you rather shake up your marriage, break your household up, just for you to go find out who you are now? Now. I said, so now you want to
After
figure
all
it out.
these years.
I said, but everything that you're doing now was what I was trying to get you to do when we were together.
Wow.
I said, so now you feel like you're free enough to do it without no chains of me, right?
But one thing I've learned is that your journey and her journey are different. So time that it may have taken you to be like, okay, well, I need to find myself, or before going through marriage, whatever, it may not be the same thing for her. You can't.
It wasn't
like
the same.
kind of, and it wasn't the same for her, right?
She felt that afterwards. Because see, for me, I'm the type of person that's like this. If I'm into the family, then if I'm married, it's them. It's
you
them.
focus.
It's
You
my
got your
back.
tunnel
It's
vision.
them. It's whatever. It's whatever they want. If whatever they need, I got to go sacrifice my skills and myself to get that for them. That was me. And if I can get it done without me having to break our bank to get it done, Daddy's going to sacrifice his time and hard work and work, his equity for you guys to get whatever y'all need. Great, good. No, me, it was, that's too much because it's not for me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to kind of start winding down. This is great conversation. We have chipped the tip of opening up this door, this Pandora box of saying, look, this is what's going on. This is what we have been through. This is our point of view, our perspectives. And I love each and every one of your views on courtship and courting and dating and relationship. This is going to help our viewers. And like I said, it's going to be 3 parts. We got a second part and a third part. We may have to have a 4th part because it's different layers. It has different layers. People don't understand. We're trying to tackle the stages so other people can hear our views and our perspective on things, so they will not make those mistakes, and we can enlighten them and inform them, because this is an informative platform that we're going to give to people to understand the difference, because you can't do certain things and expect for it to last if you're not following the steps of how it's supposed to happen. So I really appreciate each and every one of you. Lamar, Shannon, and Tiffany, you were outstanding. I will be bringing you guys back to more segments as it pertains to Feisty Girl Talk. I appreciate you guys so much. I will make sure you have the link to this so you can blast it and put it on your platform. And as again, I'd just like to say thank you, and I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
All right, we definitely will.
Yes.
To be continued.
To be continued.
To be continued.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.